another episode of Reality Rangers. I'm your host, Malik.
And I'm Andrew Hill. And today, got something in my eye. Today we're talking about episode 10 of Survivor 50, 3 episodes away from the finale. And
Crazy.
what a wild episode this was. You know, the Mr. Beast of it all, and yet he was like the most like out of the way part of the episode.
I out of all the celebrities though, I think he was the best. He didn't do too much. Like, I mean, it was a lot, like, oh my gosh, $2 million and like Immunity Idol, but like still he didn't take up as much screen time, I find, as Zach Brown. He at least had a correlation to the game, unlike Billie Eilish, and he didn't really screw over anybody extremely like Jimmy Fallon. So in that aspect, I would put him at the top of the 4 celebrities so far.
Yeah. And I think he's also like the most related to the show, so it felt the most natural for him to get in here other than like everyone else. But, you know, aside from the Mr. Beast of it all, we're here to talk about episode 50. I don't want to dwell on
episode 50.
Sorry, whoa, there's so many. We're here to talk about episode 10 of Survivor 50. And
yes,
I don't want to dwell on Jimmy Donaldson very much because there was so much going on and it was wonderful to watch.
Wait, his last name's Donaldson?
Yeah. My friends were telling me that I shouldn't refer to, like, we should just not talk about him the entire episode, and if we have to, just refer to him as Mr. Donaldson. Just as a
But then that would get me confused with Colby, though.
Yeah, you're right.
Are they related?
Well, I mean, and I wonder, I could see a world where he'd probably changed his name to Mr. Beast, like, legally. And then
maybe
Jonathan would be saying Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast, yes, exactly. Oh, he would totally do that. Speaking of Jonathan,
Thank
finally
God he didn't get much content.
He didn't get much content, and finally he lost his streak of getting his way this episode. We'll get into it in a little bit, but I was praying for times like this. The streak of good Jonathan episodes has ended.
Yes.
So stock in Jonathan has plummeted. Stock in Tiffany has skyrocketed.
Absolutely.
And stock in Stephanie is at an all-time low. All-time low.
And stock in Soup that I think it was, who was it, Emily won at the auction. Guys, there was an auction. Yeah. It was crazy.
There was an auction.
And it was normal.
It was normal, but it wasn't just that normal. It had chaos and it had comfort, but it also had chaos too.
Sorry, this pissed me off the entire episode because he kept saying, but this season is a little different. There's a little bit of chaos, and then the chaos is stuff that he would do every other season that had the auction.
It was run-of-the-mill twists.
The chaos is
there was nothing
one
chaotic.
person doesn't get the food, but the other person does.
And you have to eat bugs like we've done countless times before.
Wow.
And I just wish, if anything, there was more chaos. I felt like there was not enough chaos.
I feel like it would have been really entertaining to see a lot more like out of the box thinking with their chaos ideas.
Exactly. And obviously I'm happy there was no losing the vote, but what happened to, I know they don't always do this for every auction, but what happened to the advantage at the end? I could tell some people were maybe saving up their money to get an advantage at the end, like Joe and Tiff. I didn't see bidding a lot. And then there was no advantage. I know they do that sometimes to psych people out, but
maybe I'm remembering wrong, but I thought they had said it was like no advantages at the start. Did they not?
Really?
I feel maybe not like outwardly said something like that, but
because maybe that doesn't categorize as either chaos or comfort.
Yeah, I think because they were probably also just saving specifically for the Mr. Beast part. They didn't want to get it overshadowed by someone finding another Bebby or whatever.
Well, because I saw fries at their first
that was my first thought.
Like, oh,
yeah.
What's gonna be in the fries? I can't go to a fast food place now without thinking, oh, maybe there's an immunity idol in my fries. Like, I just have Survivor syndrome. Like, I'm just like, let me dig in here. Let me look for an idol.
Especially when
you
go to Shake Shack or something, and they have that exact boat that they use for the fries, and it's like, oh my god, I'm on Survivor. What do I do?
Or let me go to Applebee's. Oh, yeah. That's where I'm looking in the fries. Do you even have Applebee's in Canada?
There's probably one in Toronto. There's one of everything in
Toronto. There's gotta be. Okay, so how did the episode start?
So the episode starts, aftermath of the tribal as per usual. But I think this one was particularly interesting as foreshadowing for the rest of the episode, where, Christian just got voted out. This is a big, big player of the season, and both the fans and the people in the game are like really trying to figure out how to like navigate this moving forward, especially the people on the bottom, which are Emily and Rick. And how does Rick take this?
Yeah, Devins was like, okay, my twin just got eliminated, so I gotta use this like anger that I have as like fuel. They said, oh, he's Rick Devins from Edge of Extinction, he's sneaky. And Rick Devins like, okay, if you want to see the old Rick Devins, I'll bring the old Rick Devins. Not that he ever left, but like he's come to play now.
Yeah, we get a big like turning point moment for Rick Devins, and I think one thing that I found really interesting from what he said was how during his I'm gonna just we're playing for fun. I'm going to take big swings, and if they work out, great. If they don't, I'm making good TV. I liked how he said, it's time for me to play by myself because no one else wants to play with Rick. Because, like, yes, it's fun to see, like, how the tribe dynamics work out, but it is also fun to see, like, one player who is, like, fully isolated but still playing. Like, you have isolated players on other seasons, like, who am I thinking of? Like, Star or Mary on 48. Like, they're just kind of around, but they don't do anything. And then you have Rick, who's fully willing, because he's just on his own, to take the biggest swings possible.
And that's why he was so entertaining on Edge of Extinction. It's because he was on the bottom and he's like, well, I'm not just going to roll over and die. I'm going to scrap my way up to the top. And he got all the way to Final Four and would have won if he beat Chris and Fire.
Yeah.
So, he has some merit. And I will never knock Rick Devens for being a bad player. I think he's a great player.
Mm-hmm. And that also leads into another Rick moment as we, move past the title sequence where we've had this looming fake idol for a bit now, and now that Christian's gone, I think he makes the right call in kind of gathering everyone together and like showing this is a fake. I was really hoping he was gonna throw it into the fire though, because like they had the camera like panning to the fire, the flames and the smoke were like fully like casting over the screen, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be such a good TV moment. And then he just kind of explains it, and it's like we missed out on
I guess
big.
his explaining it could be like, I'm just putting all the cards on the table.
Yeah.
If he just throws it in the fire, it could be like, this was the secret fire igniting idol, and if you throw it into the fire, it ignites and you get 2 idols, something like that. But like,
I think it could have been like you explain to it, you show them, and then you take it back and just yink. Like, yeah, this is a fake. I promise you, this is a fake. I don't need it.
Just to gag everyone on the island. I would do that personally. I don't know why nobody else has done anything like that. Like, oh, this is a fake idol. Throw it in the fire. I think Jeff has thrown stuff in the fire before, like for fake idols.
Yeah. Wait, okay. There's one that I'm thinking. I could have sworn there was one moment where someone threw something into the fire as like this is a fake kind of, or like, I don't need this.
Was it like Romeo?
It could have been.
At the Final Four or at the Final Three, he's like, and this whole time, my immunity idol was fake. Nobody gagged. Nobody reacted. Their face is killing me. Why no one gave a fuck?
Yeah.
That was literally.
I remember it now. It's on Heroes, Healers, Hustlers. I think it was, what's her name? Lauren or something like that. She had 2 halves of an idol. And she had to give it to the other person, and they had to agree to play it together. And then during that episode, or like a few episodes later, she wants to play it because she's going to get voted out, and Dr. Mike throws it into the fire.
Okay, I'm kind of living for that. I need to go back and watch that. I didn't really watch that.
It's a little bit underrated. It's just the end game sucks. Up until the end game, it's very part of the end game? I think it was Final 8. So, okay. Yeah, it was just
before
about.
Most of the Ben shenanigans.
Right. Ben shenanigans was like directly after.
Yeah, that was the last. That was the canary in the coal mine. Well, yeah. Okay, so we have who's left in the game at this point? We've got Rick, Emily, Aubrey, Sari, Joe, Ozzy, Stephanie, Jonathan, Tiff, and Rizzo. Is that
Yes.
10? I count that
That
correctly?
was
Okay.
impressive.
I'm surprised myself with that. And as somebody noticed, before Christian went, like a majority of the people there, or at least a plurality or whatever, were OG Silas. And so like at a
Yes.
certain point, they could have like turned on everyone. If they wanted to work together, they could have picked people off one by one by one.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't. They went after Christian, and so I think that was something that Ozzy remarked, like, "Oh, I thought we were tight, Emily. Like, what happened with that? Like, once you came for me, I had to go for Christian." And Emily says something. She's like, "This was the first time I was on the wrong side of the vote," and it shocked me. I was like, "Is that true? Is this really the first time
I
in her Survivor career she's on
It
the wrong side of
shocked
the
me
vote?"
too, because I completely forgot she got idled out because like Austin and what was his name, Drew,
Drew
they wanted to work.
Basile.
Drew Basile, the Jeopardy king, I guess. Uh, they wanted to stick with Emily over Julie, which is crazy.
And
I
then D told Julie to play the damn
play the damn
idol.
idol. Oh, what a good season. I need to rewatch it.
And that was a great moment too.
But she's never been on the
I
wrong
think
side.
that was the episode they did as the replay for like leading up
Yes,
to
yeah, yeah.
Survivor 50.
That
Great
was
episode.
yeah, yeah. It was I think that one. But either way, what a like it was such a bizarre thing and I had to like search it up. I didn't believe her and lo and behold, it's true. And as you were saying about Sela, like that whole tribe dynamic, they weren't really much of a tribe per se, like as much of a group, I should say. Like we saw, I mean, there's 6 out of 8 of them. The first two were the first two boots. So like you had a what was it, like 7 episode stretch of no one getting voted out from that tribe.
Like you
And
gotta respect that.
it's
Like,
very
okay,
impressive,
hats
but
off.
we really didn't they weren't really aligned in any way. Like they had much more connections than like the other people did, but it wasn't like it's an alliance of Sari, Emily, Christian, Ozzy, Rick, and who was the other person? Joe. Joe definitely not.
And Joe, oh my gosh,
And it,
Joe hated Devins.
yeah.
Ozzy and Christian had their little rivalry. Like,
The thing is
but
like
Sari was obviously like good with everyone. But like,
mhm.
it was like this felt like it was bound for one of them to take a shot at the other one.
Yeah,
But it just never happened.
they had the like Sari in the middle and then she had Ozzy on one side and Joe kind of there too. And then there's Rick, Christian, Emily, and it's like that's not an alliance. You're like it's one person connecting two people that hate each other.
But Sari being well insulated, like the most well insulated person, is nothing new. I mean, this is
and
like her MO.
and I have a feeling like it's cause for reason that she was probably the reason they're all there at that point. Like she
Hmm.
didn't want them to go, so they didn't go. And
I
then
mean,
she
there's
wanted
something
Christian to
to be
go.
said. Sorry, I think there's something to be said about like it's smart because you want people from your original tribe who you've stuck with the longest, who even if you're not like strategically aligned with them, but like personally connected to them, to make it to the jury. Because the more people you have in the jury that like I mean, you're all returnees and you've probably met each other before, but like the more people that fuck with you, the more votes you're able to get,
Mhm.
right? So I think it's valuable to stick with your numbers. That's why we always see in the new era, like you get a strong four and you ride with them till as far as you can go, and then you cut them at the end.
That's why possible spoiler alert for Survivor 51, it's looking like we're going to have two tribes of 10, which is
Yes.
such a like we needed a refresher like this. I'm I'm so relieved that like they're listening cuz I think they just wanted to stick to the new era like like we have to hold out till the end of the new era and then they can like you know listen to feedback, which is a bad decision, but that's what they did.
I guess they're thinking like, oh, it'd be a bad look if we like crumbled halfway, like Survivor
Right.
46. Okay, we're going back to two tribes now. We
But
we heard all the feedback.
now they're like they're actively saying 50 is going to decide, like the fan reception is going to decide how we dictate 51. So like
Drop the five, keep the one.
I we cannot bring this back. I
No.
unless Survivor 51's winner doesn't pay his taxes and goes to jail for 14 months. And You
Well,
know,
honestly, you know what I
I
need? I need two Canadians to win back to back in 51 and 52, because then
right,
that's
right.
like a good omen.
So basically, I'm thinking that like we pretend Richard Hatch never existed. We drop the 4, keep the
Okay.
1, and Erica is the first winner of Survivor ever. Like,
Yes, I think that's actually true. I think like all the first 40 seasons are not canon anymore.
right?
50
No.
is like, wait, why is there random people in our house?
Well, no,
Who
no.
are
I'm
these people? But
I'm
like,
thinking it's going 41, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it just goes back, and then 40, 42.
right.
Because Erica deserves it.
Exactly.
She deserves her
Erica deserves
flowers.
it. This is us just trying to get a happy to see me pod collab. Like we're just trying to collab with their podcast. Yes. But no, I think I'm excited. I wonder if it's gonna be a theme like two tribes of like, blank versus blank. Like something like what are the past themes that are like here's where the villains is returning thing, obviously, but
Right.
um
It
like what's a
looks like
good two
yeah, and
tribe?
it's even though we don't have cast leaks yet, it's almost 100% going to be all newbies. Like I think
Yeah, yeah,
we're gonna have a
totally.
lot more new like returnee players in the 50s, but I think they're gonna wait like 2 or 3 seasons. Um, but like,
For sure.
what's a newbie twist they could do? They could, in theory, do heroes villains, but like newbies.
Well, they did like it could be like David versus Goliath too, something
True.
along that vein.
I think it would be something like that.
Um, oh, millennial versus Gen Z. Oh, I would love
Mm,
that. I would
I
love, love, love
I
that.
would fuck with that heavy. Like I
And then
think
that would help them bring in that young viewer base that they're dying to have.
exactly. And like
Get some influencers on.
right, right. They have Billie Eilish. Apparently she's promoting her movie next week on Survivor or something.
Oh my
We
gosh.
didn't
Now she acknowledges us.
I don't think I don't know about you. I didn't get that commercial that they were talking about. I assume it was a US only thing, but I saw the
Yeah, it must
commercial
be
later
American.
where she was like, "Next week I'm showing a clip from my Hit Me Hard and Soft tour movie." And like, okay. That's your
Like,
acknowledgement
okay.
of where's your Bebby
She said the word
acknowledgement?
survivor once, and she was like, you could tell this was like filmed in the middle of her like doing press tours. She's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, we gotta do this survivor thing quickly. Okay, let's do this.
And she
Yeah.
looks exhausted. She hates the season. Or she hates how her Bebby has resulted in Genevieve
Maybe she
getting
wanted
voted out.
more like drama from the baby. Maybe she wanted more people to be playing them, but then it got stuck in the hands of Rizzo and Ozzy, and it's
Hmm.
like, damn,
And it's like
damn, these people don't play idols.
Rizzo's entertaining about everything except the fact he doesn't play his damn idol. Play your damn
Right.
idol.
I almost kind of want him to be blindsided with his idol in his pocket. Like I feel like it's like a change of pace. We don't want to see the same thing twice. Either play it and negate some votes, or get it sent home with your idol in your pocket. Like
I kind of, if he's
let's
gonna
get
get
some new.
voted out, I don't even know if I want him blindsided. I want him to, like, know that he's getting votes and still not use it as a, like, because he knew so many times he was getting votes in 49 and still didn't play it, and it just worked out for him. But I mean,
Yeah, the confidence of a man from Yonkers
yeah.
who loves Mr. Beast.
And is
You can't
streaming
stop
on
him.
TikTok like 24/7. But
Literally, he needs to open up a TikTok shop.
he's got that Jeff Probst cardboard cutout. Anyway, so yeah, we the next part of the episode, a big part of the episode, was the auction. This didn't have many like ramifications for the rest of the episode, but it was great return to form. I loved seeing all of the fun dynamics, and my favorite was actually okay. I forgot about tweet of the week, but I will say Mike Bloom's tweet about Suri at the auction saying, Suri just went on a day trip and got a charcuterie board at like
And went to
Barn.
Bed Bath and
Yeah,
Beyond.
yeah, yeah. That's my tweet of the week. I loved watching her because like she kind of played it perfectly. You don't want to.
I
Okay,
was gonna say if somebody could win the auction, she won the
yeah.
auction.
I was talking to my mom during the episode as that happened, and I was like, Cerie's playing this perfectly. Like she is getting all of the necessities. I think the blanket she gets to keep at camp,
I
which is
can't for sure.
which
No,
is
she
crazy.
said
And she got
before,
that
like,
like really cheap. And then she got toothpaste and a toothbrush, wild. And a charcuterie board was the one food that she got. And it's like, wow, this is perfect. And it's like the perfect food where you're not gonna like vomit. And I say that as she's like walking up and starts vomiting in the background. Like,
Yeah, and then she continues eating though.
yeah,
She's
I.
a trooper. No, I think she is a creature of comfort. Like she was
Mhm.
describing this in press tours before Survivor Australia versus the World. She was like, when we won a blanket, I was like, I'm hanging onto that blanket for dear life, like I'm Linus from Charlie Brown, because she loves her comfort. And that was like the theme of the auction. And I was surprised she
Yeah.
didn't get any chaos.
No, she's just consistently time and time again after the first episode with Jenna, like she's having the perfect survivor experience. And it's like I'm so happy for her because she deserves it. She deserves it all.
Hmm.
Um
She deserves it. Oh.
I deserve it all.
Oh wait, yeah, that was last episode's title.
Oh, it was. Wow, shout out to last episode. Um what was it? There was something I was going to mention though.
About charcuterie, about the
Yeah,
auction.
it escapes my mind. I guess.
Okay, well, okay, let's just do a quick game. Which one of these items, if you could only pick one, what would you want?
Oh, blanket. I
The
me
blanket?
I cuz like they constantly talk about how like it's very hot in the day but freezing at night. If I get a permanent blanket, like I feel like I would be much more fulfilled or like, rejuvenated than any eating, and also I'd be worried I'd throw up.
Yeah, a lot of the food does not look like food that's like
It's
gonna
carb
satiate you or be
heavy.
good for you.
It's all like
Low key, Jonathan with the veggies, that's kind of like what I would go for.
I think my thought process was like I would try and go for the blanket and like the wings cuz I think protein would be good, but like if you can get a good night's sleep like where you're not waking up, get like a full 8 hours, I'd be so much more rejuvenated than if I ate like, you know, 2000 calories of mac and cheese.
Yeah, low key, Rizzo got like chicken breast, broccoli, and a protein shake. That was like a balanced meal.
Right, right.
Like,
He was just like he was about to go to the gym after. Like he was just prep. He was meal prepping.
exactly. He was doing meal prep, yes, and then
Hmm.
he has a little creatine, and then he's yeah, he's
He needs the
he's hitting
gym.
the gym. He needs the gym. But no. So at the end of the auction, they all get their letters from home. Oh, $20
Aww.
buy-in. Oh, they're going soft on them. I was thinking the
Corinne's
chaos with
impact.
this was gonna be some of y'all have to lose your letters. We're doing another Worlds Apart. Like the
Hmm.
letters are gonna cause some drama. But no, it's like, okay, Mr. Beast is doing this completely separate thing.
Yeah,
Enjoy
I
your letters.
I was entirely thinking like they're gonna do something, and then nothing really happens. And Mr. Beast, it was fun to see him. They could have kind of like he could have been at any point in the episode, and it would have affected nothing because the only thing he did when he walked up was tease something's coming at Tribal, and then walked away.
Like he just like, okay. Did he take the briefcase with him when he left?
I think so. He always keeps that
Okay.
thing on him.
Yeah, he doesn't want anyone getting a hold of it. But no, yeah, right after that, I was shocked by this. Jeff's like, we're going to immunity challenge, and I would have been
Hmm.
pissed because if my stomach's full, I don't want to run the
Yes.
challenge.
That's why you do the reward after, unless it's two separate challenges, which happen on different days. Like I,
Hmm.
I think they probably planned it out by the fact that it was an endurance challenge or like a concentration
And
kind of
not like
thing.
one where they're running around and.
Yeah, but like
But maybe like the
imagine
the fried chicken in my belly's gonna
that's
disturb my balance.
exactly like imagine you were the one that got like cake or something, and then you're like, we have to go do an obstacle course.
It would have been just like vomit everywhere. They would
Yeah.
have been had to censor everything. They do the one where it's like I think it was like a Caramon or something where or Redemption Island where they have to put them in the water wheel where they keep spinning them
Oh,
and
oh my
spinning
god.
them.
I was
Or the
thinking,
one where they're eating the pork and they have to like spit it out into different. That
honestly,
that's the hardest immunity.
I kind of hope in the future they bring back some of the food challenges because I feel like that's something
Yes.
that like why are we missing out on this? This is such a like normal thing. Like
Even just the gross eating, like the
yeah,
gross
like
food,
and it's like
bugging out.
I know some people are like, uncomfortable by that, but like just, that's people are uncomfortable by people who look starving.
Well, that's the nature of the game is you're
You can't
putting yourself
win.
out of your comfort zone.
Exactly, and we need
So
more
that's what I don't get.
yeah. But I think it was a fun auction overall, and
Yeah.
um I'm glad that we got it back. I'm glad it was pretty straightforward, and even to what I assume is their fear of bringing it back, that it didn't get gamed the same way that Worlds Apart did. So
No,
it all works out.
exactly. And there was no margarita curse, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's definitely, I think, would have gone for it. So I
I
mean,
think Stephanie would totally go for it because she doesn't know about the margarita curse for sure. And I
right.
feel like that's right up her
Emily
alley.
knows it absolutely and would be terrified of that thing.
No, I think, yeah, no, Stephanie actually would want the margarita. So, no. So yeah, we go to the immunity challenge and it is, what was it called again? Bo Diddley?
Diddly squat.
Bo Diddley squat, and it's the one we see a bunch. Have the bow with the ball, and then you're on the
Mm-hmm.
balance beam. I think I've played this one on Outlaster a couple times on
Yeah.
Roblox.
Classic.
And it goes pretty well. We have this our usual suspects dropping out pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
Rizzo, I think Emily drops kind of early.
I think
Um,
Aubrey.
Aubrey. Devins almost catches himself. He falls during the pot. What is it? What's the opposite of live transition? Like the not live
Uh,
transition. He
yeah.
falls
That okay.
over.
That was like, I was worried for him for a second because like when he fell over, he was like a baby goat when you scare them. Like he was
Yeah, he
so
fell hard.
stiff. He fell hard and he was so stiff. Like I was worried that he like couldn't move. But
Exactly.
luckily it was the transition period. But like in this challenge, transition periods, you don't get out if you like fall or anything. You have time to like figure it out.
It's only once everybody's been like, okay, we're
Mhm.
good, we're set up, then
Because
you
it's
can get
kind of,
eliminated. And
if
like,
you I'm sure it's like if you try and they've like tested it, if you try and move while holding this, like it's gonna fall immediately. So
yeah.
it works out for Rick.
For only a few seconds though, because then
Yeah.
he falls immediately after that.
Right.
It wasn't even the ball as much as it was the balancing, because it got to a really small part of the perch and it was just like
Hmm.
really hard to stay on. And then I think our final few people are like Ozzy, Jonathan, Joe, and Tiff.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Which,
Same kind of people
as
as the
per
last
usual, we've
challenge.
been having a lot of endurance, and I think next episode will probably be when they start shifting over to like all of the obstacle
Obstacle
courses,
plus puzzle.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no. Unless they do two challenges, because I saw it's another endurance. It's the wobbly ocean one that they did in 46 when they did
Oh,
the
the
alphabet
alphabet
game.
game?
Which
Yeah.
I love that challenge, but let that be the last endurance because there's two more episodes left.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's like a reward maybe, but they don't really do endurance
Maybe.
for reward anymore. Like, or they
I
never
feel like
really
it's perfect
have.
for the reward because it's like I want it so bad. I want that sanctuary. I want it.
I think they don't do it as a reward challenge just because, especially with this season, they have so little time that they need to make sure that if they're gonna do one that takes a long time, it's gonna be for something that will like affect the game substantially.
True, but we see like with this coming challenge, like people once they get to the final stage, it does not last for more than a couple minutes.
Right.
Like
And we see as we said before, we see who is it? It was Jonathan drops, then Ozzy, and then and or no, it
no,
was
no, no,
Joe,
Jonathan and then Joe.
and then it was Ozzy and Steph, or not Steph,
Not Stephanie,
Tiffany.
never that. No.
But
And I was really distraught. Like my heart was broken in two pieces because half of me really wanted Ozzy to tie the record for career immunity wins.
and like
The other half of me really wanted Tiff to win because I'm a Tiff stan.
mhm. I think in my prediction for the future of the season, Ozzy still can absolutely tie the record. Like he has so many opportunities, but in my fan fiction for the future of the season, it's gonna be Ozzy wins final immunity and takes Suri and Suri wins. So like he's obviously at least gonna tie. Like it's bound to
Wait,
happen.
what were the options for the final immunity challenge?
Samotion, that one where you throw the ball up and it goes in the
Oh,
plinko
the
while
the
you do the
Plinko puzzle
challenge.
thing.
And then there's the it's just an obstacle course.
Obstacle course would probably a puzzle at the end. I wish the
Yeah.
final immunity challenge would be the one that he lost in South Pacific, because that would be really like OMG if he won that one at the end.
Well, I wish it was like I wish it was that one in every way because that was the spider one, right?
Yeah, like the one where you'd go on the 5 different
Yeah,
legs of
that
the
is.
obstacle
I
course.
think that's the best challenge that Survivor has of like not the iconic. Well, it's iconic, but like you have like uh you have
Hands on the hard idol.
hands on a hard idol. You have the what's the pole? Uh, you hold
Get a
the,
grip.
yeah, get a grip. You have like touchy subjects, which they should bring back.
Some
Some
motion.
motion. The spider is like such a fun challenge to watch, and they did it so many times in the 20s that maybe people got burnt out. But I think now it's just like a production standpoint where they're like, we don't have time to build this, or we don't have money to build this, like, or a space to build it, probably.
But no, like visually, it's one of my favorites. They can make it
Mm-hmm.
really good looking, and also action wise, it's like you got 50 different people running here, there, and it can make for really good comebacks. Like always, they have obstacle courses with puzzles at the end. There's always a comeback for the good puzzle. Like think Camilla in 48,
Mm-hmm.
but this one was like it's the best, it's the best,
Yes,
and it's not gonna
and
happen, and I'm sad.
there's so many though that like there's very a bunch of different variations. Like there was the one in Blood versus Water where they slide down the big slide, and then there's the bunch of like the one that Outlaster copied. Um, and
Yes.
then there's like I don't think this was a final immunity challenge, but like the one in Second Chances where they did it at night and they were like running around, like that one is technically different, but like it was still very similar, and I love that one.
Ooh, but yeah, second chance. And now you're saying that there was like a trivia one.
Yes,
Where's the
that's that.
trivia?
We need trivia back. Like I loved on Borneo or Second Chance where they're like you learn about the island, they tell you a story, and then you have to like remember this and do trivia. Like that would be right up my alley. Give me the win.
Literally, I'm just gonna listen. I'm gonna listen and learn. But
Or like if you don't want to make it about like the island or whatever because it's in Fiji every season, make it about Survivor. I don't know. You don't have to tell a story.
Exactly, because there have been challenges about Survivor, and the most recent example we've had of that, because it haven't happened in a while,
Mm-hmm.
is the journey that Hunter went on. And it was like
Yes.
arrange the Survivor logos.
Yeah.
But there's been a precedent for like Survivor challenges. The one in I think it was fans versus favorites, where it's like spin the wheel to the season that this happened on. I loved that, and that's
It's
like a
so
service to
fun.
the fans. Like this is actual valuable fan service, like that we
Mm-hmm.
want to see.
So yeah, I am hoping we get to see more stuff like that in the future of Survivor. 51, 52
Hmm.
will set a good precedent. I hope. I'm really hoping that they listen. I think they will to an extent.
Yeah,
I have hopes for production, but either way, as we said, Tiffany wins immunity, and I think this
I
actually
was
is,
overjoyed.
even though like I think she was the most safe out of everyone for the most part. I think she was also the best person to win immunity because we love Tiff, but also it means everyone is up for like if the most safe person is the one that's immune, then everyone has a chance to go. And that created so much chaos back at camp, especially with Beast looming, but I don't think that really would have changed what ended up happening.
Yeah, no, and I thought it was really, touching that this was the day of 46
Yes.
that she went home on, and
Mm-hmm.
so she really wanted to win this immunity, and she did. So I'm kind of like not mad about her losing the last couple of immunities. It's like, oh wow, this is really special. Like this changed lives.
And now she just needs to get past her previous placement, and she is. I mean, she's already an icon. She's already a game changer. I'm not going to explain why. Don't
Yes.
ask me. But
No,
I
I think she could if she makes a deep run, she's gonna be in like one of the top 5 people for like New Era days played, right?
yeah, well, maybe because
Because right now it's
obviously she played
Jonathan and
2,
Rizzo
but
and Joe are kind of like tying for the top because
if
D's
she
out.
if she spent 26 days and then she had 19 last time, then it would be 45, which I think
It
would
would pass D.
it would pass D, um, depending on how Rizzo and Joe and Jonathan end up doing. That's going to be the
Yeah,
deciding factor. But Joe is currently ahead of everyone. Weirdly enough.
unfortunately. Mm.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was really happy for her. And so she just got to sit back at camp while a whole kerfuffle happened. This was the most scrambliest scrambled like If you like Sunny Side Up, this is not your episode. If you like Over Easy, this is not your episode because they were scrambling at camp.
Yeah. Do you want to try and explain, or there's so
Oh, let
much
me.
that
I think I actually
happens?
have like my notebook
You have
here.
a
Like I was,
list?
I was writing down notes, like because I was watching this at 4 a.m. because I just got back
Mm-hmm.
from a shift. Like I finished the episode at 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
on Wednesday or well Thursday morning.
I didn't realize the episode was two
Okay.
hours as well. Like that threw me
Oh yeah,
off.
it was two
I
hour
was like,
episode, so I was
we
like,
were at like, I think it was like 9:20 as I was watching, and then like, there was 10 minutes left, and we hadn't even like started tribal, and I'm
and
like,
you're like,
and then I
this is
realized
weird.
40 minutes of tribal is holy shit.
But okay, let's see. I have like a flow chart.
Yeah.
So it started on Devon's.
Okay.
And then it moved to Ozzy. And then literally I felt like this was the exact situation we were in last episode. Like it was like
At
one for
first,
one.
I was
Somebody
afraid that was
tells
gonna happen, but it really diverted quickly.
well no, because it was like somebody this time it was Jonathan, last time it was Christian,
Hmm.
or somebody told Sari, hey, we should go for Ozzy.
Yeah.
And it literally was the exact same scene. It's Sari and Ozzy sitting on the hammock, and she's like, hey Oz, they're going for you. And he's like, what? It happened back to back. And so it was on Ozzy for a little bit. And then Sari and Ozzy caught wind that Stephanie was part of this plan. So they moved it on to Stephanie. And then Stephanie was like, okay, well, we can't do Ozzy. It's too predictable. Why don't we go for Sari? Then I was
Hmm.
getting scared. Then I was getting frightened.
Yeah.
And then that side was getting overzealous. They're like, actually, why don't we try to get an idol out of this game? Since we can't get out Aussies, let's go for Rizzo. And then we heard like 50 different names, while the other side was just like, okay, let's stick to the plan. Let's just go for Stephanie. Like, point blank, period. Like, let's just go for Stephanie. And like, Stephanie was confronting Sari. She was like, Sari, like, I would never lie to you, even though you've lied to me a bunch of times, but I still continue to trust you. And it was just like really hectic and hard to keep up with, frankly.
Yeah, I lost track very fast, and I think the main through line is even through all of this, there was still a good chance that Rick was going to end up being the target. So we really had no clue what was going to happen going into tribal. I was worried because like it was like everyone's name was said, but the most prominent names were like aside from Stephanie, the people that it was like people that I didn't want to go home. Um, and I think right at this the Suri moment where it's like, is Suri gonna be the next target? It's like that's when I was afraid Jonathan might win the season, and then it immediately like, oh okay, never mind.
Yeah, because
But
taking out Sari would be a huge thing on your resume,
yeah,
but it did happen, thankfully. So we can,
yeah.
calm down for now. But, yeah, going into Tribal, I was like, I really didn't know what the name was, and that's why I've been liking a lot of the episodes of 50 because I'm like, I'm actually not sure who's going home. I mean, maybe it's because the last season was 49, which was basically spoiled the whole time. But
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, I'm really like not anticipating who goes home until right before the vote.
And I think it's especially nice because of the fact that like this is uh like we very often in the new era would get tribals where it would be like I don't know who's going home, but it would be like it would kind of feel like a blind side to the viewers.
Hmm.
Whereas I think in this they're doing a really good job of explaining how these people are going home while still airing in mystery because there's and I don't even know if it's the editing more so that like the players are just giving so much like footage for the editors to use, like so much content for the storytellers that they are like feeding us with like, oh, Rick could go home here, but Stephanie is like, she's getting overconfident. She's lying, but she's getting caught. Which
It's
I've
like,
never lied. I've never lied to anyone. I've never called
I've never
anyone's
lied
name.
to
I've
anyone.
never said anyone's name.
But it's like I love it. It's almost like a who done it, where it's like they're
Yeah.
giving you all the motives instead of like who could be the murderer. It's like who's getting voted out. Devins could be voted out because of XYZ, then it could be Stephanie because of this, Ozzy because of that, Sari because of this. And then just at the final moment you find out, oh, that's the murderer, that's the person going home. And I
Mm-hmm.
really love it because it keeps me on my toes. But just speaking about the Stephanie thing, she kept saying, I didn't bring up Sari's name, and I'm sticking by that. Even after she got voted out, she said that. Which she was one of the people. But she's like, well, technically, Jonathan said her name first. You know what that was giving me? You know what that was giving me? Danielle and Carolyn fighting in the Traders, and she's like, well, technically, Carolyn did say Brittany's name, but it was to murder, not to banish. So it was like, technically, you're right, but you're still going for this person. So it's like, you're right.
Yeah. It's just like I feel like we've finally gotten rid of kind of all of the people who were annoying about honor and integrity, where if you tried to mention it or like speak out against it, they would get so upset, they would like deflect, they would, get really mad at the people who mentioned it. Whereas I think unfortunately Jonathan isn't really doing that. Like, and Joe is, but he's doing it in a really funny way because he has
He's
no
doing it in a
power.
very hypocritical way where it's like a caricature, a
Right,
parody
right.
of,
He really
of
feels
those
like a caricature
players.
of him last season. Like
Yes.
he's like a cartoon character.
And sometimes I'm like, are you in on the joke? It's the same thing we were talking about with Coach. It's like, you got to be doing this on purpose.
Right,
And it
right.
creates funny moments. Like we saw this tribal. We'll get into it because we're going to get to the Mr. Beast of it all soon. But he was
Mhm.
like, everyone was gagging and he's just sitting down. He's like, I'm not gagging. I'm not cheering for Rick Devens. So it's like, he can be funny, but I don't know if that's his intention.
Yeah. So yeah, going into tribal, we had no clue what was going to happen. And as we got into tribal, I think it just it got more and more crazy, not because of Jimmy Donaldson, Jimmy Fallon, Billie Eilish. It doesn't matter what the celebrity was. Um, it was really maybe the most captivating tribal I've watched in a long time because of Mr. Rick Devens, news apparently Survivor's best news anchor.
Take that, Savannah
Uh,
Louie,
Rizzo and Savannah were fighting in
in Chat
Chat BBC.
BCC.
Yeah. But yeah, Rick blew up this tribal. And what happened there?
It was just like he was calling everybody out. He was laying not just his cards on the table, but everybody else's. It's like he hacked into the cameras that can
Mm-hmm.
see the people's hands on poker, and he's like, "Okay, now I know you've got two jacks. I see you've got a queen and a king." And he laid everybody's cards out on the table for them, and they were like, "No, no, we didn't say that." And then it really like helped him be like, okay, Suri and all these people that were maybe gonna gun for me before, we can band together and we can get these people out. There's literally only three of them.
Yeah.
And he did a really good job at laying this out. And I think it's probably because he's a news personality, so he's a good speaker, but like it worked.
I think this was like one of my favorite tribals to watch leading up to the big moment where like it I think could have been okay, I'll say now Mr. Beast was not really needed here. I think it would have maybe not been a better well, I think it would have been a better episode, but like not by much. I think he didn't like affect anything too much. It just added a little bit of fun at the end. And so I think the dynamics that happened here, even if what ends up happening didn't happen, I still think we have the maybe an even more interesting, like really cool, like he's and it's crazy because everyone was telling Rick what their plan was, even though he was on the bottom and they didn't want to work with him. So like he really was saying everything truthfully, and then Jonathan kept being like, "You're trying to talk to this guy who is always a liar," and it's like, right, but you also told these other people who know Rick is telling the truth. So like,
I think Suri described it in, I think it was Survivor EU versus the World. She said something like, when I play Survivor, I look for when people have this ring of truth when they say something. And that ring of truth was, I think, there for Devons. Like, people could tell he was telling the truth.
mhm. She also said kind of the same thing this episode though about Stephanie, where she knows when Stephanie's lying. Like she can't keep eye contact. Like she knows this, and like she can tell the same with everyone else, but Stephanie especially.
Mm.
And so at this tribal, I think obviously knew what was up.
One of my favorite tribals in a long time. Like, it's on par, if not better, than like Q saying he's gonna quit, or
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know, maybe the Caleb shot in the dark. It's like it's at that level, like S tier tribals of the new era. And
The
I was
Justin
really
48 boot.
oh my gosh, that was also a good one. How could I forget that? And then it all, I wouldn't say lost its momentum, but it kind of was like derailed a little bit by the
I
Mr. Beast.
I would say lost its momentum. I wouldn't say it was like negatively impacting, but it did lose a lot of steam of the like really intense tribal. It really slowed down into this like conversation about who was going to commit to this because Mr. Beast comes back and he has his little beast briefcase, his LBB, his B
But actually, they called it a super beware.
oh, I for a
But
moment
listen,
I
how is it a
thought
beware if we don't have to say a funny sentence?
exactly. Well, I mean, or melt a wax idol at tribal.
Right,
Um,
where's the beware in that? Yeah.
but I, for a brief moment, when they said super beware, I was like, is it gonna be a super idol? Are we gonna?
That would have been gaggy, but this late in the game, it's kind of like,
It'd be evil. But
evil,
yeah,
evil, evil.
so he comes back and this super beware advantage is finally revealed to them. And the first thing they show is the beast coin from Beast Games. As people predicted, uh, this coin will allow them to double the prize pot. And my first thought is like, if it doesn't flip and it's not like this is gonna be the most like this is gonna be the most miserable like episode ending. It's gonna tank the entire episode, probably the season. If it like doesn't land, you have a 50-50 chance of making the season good. But either way, they
Right, it
get
would just
$2
be very
million if they get it.
anticlimactic.
Yeah, it would just lose all steam for the season. But like, the other two parts of this are one person has to flip it, and if they flip successfully, call what if it's gonna land on heads or tails, then they double the prize pot for everyone. They are immune from tribal, and they get an idol. Uh, Crazy.
So it's
I
kind of like, you got the shot in the dark is a 1 in 6 chance. You've got the Monty Hall do or die, which is a 1 in 3 chance. And
mhm.
then you've got this. It's a 1 in 2 shot of being safe. So if you felt like you were on the bottom, just do it. Like,
Yeah. And I think like with this whole situation, it just doesn't make sense for someone like Rick especially. Like, and they were like, I didn't think anyone was gonna offer up. Like, I think the twist doesn't work at all if someone doesn't offer up because like if this season was much more boring, much more straightforward strategy, then it would have been like the most like boring season ruining twist where someone just gets even more power. Um but I
or
think it
somebody, like if it really, like I'm inclined to believe it was kind of rigged and it was always going to double the prize pot.
I
But
don't know
let's
how
just
it could have
say,
been rigged, but like I agree. Like it couldn't if it couldn't not hit it. Like there's no way it couldn't. I don't know how they would rig
yeah.
it.
But let's say the coin was going to land on the wrong side that the person called. Let's just say nobody wanted to do it and they actually did go to rocks. And let's say it was a fan favorite like Sari, and Sari goes home on a coin flip. That would just be like, who wants to watch that?
It would be unimaginably upsetting. I think this was like a much bigger swing for Survivor than they should have taken, but thank God the season was so dynamic. Thank God we have really fun, entertaining players who made this interesting because they simultaneously, Rick wanted to go up, but they, instead of convincing someone to go up, they had to try and convince Rick to not go up, which I think was like
Which
a
is like,
flip of what they expected.
but who else would go up? Like they didn't have a replacement
Right, like
option.
Stephanie was not going to go up, and she was probably like she should have. She should have taken that
Yeah,
chance. But
she should have. But
if they
I
did,
guess she didn't know that the tide was going against her at that
yes.
point.
And I think I forgot to say, but if it doesn't land successfully, you're just automatically eliminated. So that is like if you think you're gonna get voted out or like have a good chance, just do it. Like especially
Just
for
do it.
Rick, if Rick survived this tribal, even without the flip, he would have just gotten voted out the next tribal. So like he needs that big swing, even if it's gonna paint a huge target. He's already playing by himself this is where he does his best work, I guess. So like maybe it'll just keep. He just has to keep chugging along, keep fighting, get his idol.
And now he has an idol, which we know, don't give that man an idol. If I was anybody else, I would have been like, I'm falling on my sword to make sure Rick Devens doesn't get an idol because he's too powerful with them.
Yeah.
He's got an idol. There's definitely going to be one of the next 2 episodes is a double elimination, so maybe he can skate by 2 eliminations, and he can win immunities.
Well, sorry, let's think about that because like I think the final 3 episodes I think are all gonna have 2 people get voted out because we're gonna have it's final 9 now, final 9 to final 7, final 7 to final 5, or do we know if it's final 6?
It's 6 people in the finale.
Do we know that for sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard that.
Okay, so then they probably would have teased something about a double elimination next week then. But
maybe in the second last episode, it's going to be a double.
I think so, which is like way too late to do a double, but sure, I guess.
I mean, there'll still be 6 people left after that, so it's like kind of makes sense, but
yeah. But either way, Rick is
wait. It's final 8, and then they split into 2 groups of 4, and then they get to do 2 forced fire makings because everyone voted to not have forced fire making.
Suri, no! Suri! Please, no! Suri and Rizzo get voted out before the finale, and I kill myself.
And literally we stop watching. I cancel the cable. Like,
right. Who do I have to root for now? Ozzy?
I guess out of that trio left, it's Ozzy, yeah.
But
no. So Stephanie goes home after claiming up and down, swearing up and down that she was loyal to a fault to Suri when she wasn't.
I liked Emily's point in the discussion though, where they're like, she has to steal a vote, and Emily's like, she can't steal all of our votes.
Fact check. Everyone online is saying it's Emily. I swear it was Tiffany who said that. That was Tiffany. I swear on everything. I heard it as Tiffany the first time, and the dress is black and blue. It's not yellow and white. It's it was Laurel, not Yanni.
Yeah. Brainstorm Green Needle.
It was yada. Not Green Needle. But no, it was funny because like it's true. You can't steal everyone's vote. So she went out with the advantage. Like, or no, she didn't.
No, she used it.
Oh, we forgot to say, she used it on Devens.
Who would have thought?
Which like. Big whoop-de-doo, and she still went home. I would have played the shot in the dark if I were her. Devens is immune now, and he was the primary, and your name's been floating. Use one of those votes on a shot in the dark, and then use your other vote to vote for whoever you want.
I completely forgot you could do that, and that's kind of genius. But, it was ultimately a very fun, a very exciting episode that I'm glad that we got really lucky with the outcome, because I think this is a good sign for the rest of the season to finish well. The only outcome I'd be like, this is a bad outcome currently is like if Jonathan wins, solely because I don't think Joe's gonna win, and I'm okay with everyone else for the most part.
And also, we're running out of like final 3 combinations with 3 people that would be disappointing. Like, there's at least 8, or there's at least 7 people left that are like entertaining.
We've got a very good upcoming last few episodes. I'm just hoping that production doesn't fail the cast. So let's quick
go on to our draft.
Yeah, for our drafts, we want to start with yours.
Sure.
So. What do you think about your remaining 4 players? Because you did lose another person.
I did lose Stephanie, and I wasn't even mad at it. Like a lot of these people on my draft, I've been actively rooting for their downfall at certain points. So okay, no, just 2, just like 3, just the honesty and integrity people. But Tiff had a great episode. I'm giving her an A+ just because she deserves it. Aubrey, she had a Michelle Fitzgerald shout out in the Big 2-6.
But it was like kind of shade though. I felt like, come on, Aubrey.
As much as I didn't think she deserved to win that season, I thought we already treaded this water in Survivor Winners at War. I thought we closed the chapter on Michelle didn't deserve to win.
It feels like the editors are like treading back. Like we had the whole conversation with her and Rob about how like you deserve to win, and that's one of my favorite scenes in the entire show. And then they just like, come back and say like, yeah, Aubrey deserved to win because like she's complaining.
I guess it's like going to say where it's like not one person deserved to win over the other, but they both played good games. So it's like even if you didn't play the worst game, you still lose. Even if you did play the best, whatever.
So what?
I give her she survived, so I'm gonna give her at least a B. So
Okay.
B is where I'm at.
She did get a
Ozzy,
vote.
she did get a vote, maybe B minus. Ozzy survived, didn't have to play his idol, A minus. Rick, A plus, great episode for Rick, though it was kind of up to luck, a coin flip that he survived, but he did play everything before that excellently to the point where I don't think he would have went home without the Mr. Beast.
Mm-hmm. So,
So that's my opinions on my draft. What about you?
you didn't say a letter grade for Rick.
Did I not? I said A plus for Rick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, of your draft, I think Tiffany, I agree. Like she's still not like contributing the most, but she deserves it because she's Tiffany, and she
Yeah.
deserves so much better of the edit this season. So A plus. Aubrey, I'm gonna give like a B because she did fine. But I'm really hoping that they don't lead that wrong flashback into like Aubrey winning as like, see, Aubrey deserved to win and she's finally getting her like uh flowers and
Her
like she
revenge,
deserves,
not revenge,
yeah,
but
not
like her
revenge,
justice.
she reserve, yeah, justice is a better word, she deserves her flowers, but no, she doesn't need justice. um
No.
Ozzy, I'll give an A minus as well. I think you're right, you know, survived with his idol, didn't have to worry too much because he has Suri, and he's chilling even though he gets targeted once per episode. And Rick, A plus for the theatrics, A plus for most of, like, I think he executed everything perfectly. And weirdly, I still think he's going to bounce. Like, I think he's kind of getting back into a good position next episode, even though he's made himself an even bigger target to win. Like, he just keeps
It's
growing that
almost
thing,
like
and somehow I feel like he's gonna be okay.
it's same thing as Edge of Extinction. It's almost like the bigger his target is, the better he does. Kind of.
Exactly.
It's like
It's
he
so
works well under
weird.
pressure.
Because, like, didn't he
Yeah.
get voted out in a blindside in the pre merge? That's why he was like, but because he didn't know it was happening.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Um, so yeah. And then we go over to my draft. You want to say yours quickly, and then I'll say mine?
Okay, I think you've got the pick of the season with Sari, her like, I don't know, seventh A plus in a row for me. Rizzo. I'm not seeing crazy Rizzo potential right now. Like my Rizzo has gone a little down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was talking about Mr. Beast, so
And his
I mean that
brother,
was kind of nice. It was touching, talking about his
Mr.
brother.
Bro.
I'm gonna give him an A minus B plus kind of territory. Joe, I think he honestly helped Suri and them like find out about the plan, low key. Like I don't know if he intended to blow up his side's plan, but I'm gonna give him his flowers for that. So I'm gonna give him a B
Mm-hmm.
instead of a C plus. And then Emily, I don't know about Emily. I don't see her winning. I'm gonna give her a B minus. And Jonathan, he was not on the right side of the vote this episode. I'm gonna say C plus.
Yeah. Oh, and we kind of skipped past Stephanie because we already had the X there.
Oh,
D minus.
C minus, D
Yeah.
plus.
Like I would say D plus, D minus, somewhere in there. I don't want to think too hard, but she did not do well this episode.
No,
She really blew herself up with like trying to target and then pedal back.
doing way too much. All right, your
Yeah.
turn.
So I think Suri A plus. You know, we already know this. Rizzo, I think, yeah, A minus. Like he, and then on the next time on, they said they're targeting Rizzo, so I guess we'll see something like that. But A minus. He kept his idol just like Ozzy. Wasn't targeted out of like, well, he was targeted for like 30 seconds, but um, and I think he was also, there was like a brief moment at Tribal when he was talking, when Rick like blew up saying like, I was gonna target you, Rizzo, and then Rizzo had a very good response that I think was very well like warranted on both of their ends. That's like, it really shows he is a good social player. Joe, I agree. I think he's like a B plus. But I don't even know if he's part of the honor and integrity anymore, to be honest. I think he just has that mindset, but he is really like one of Cerise's strongest soldiers right now, which is crazy.
Hmm.
um,
And he's playing somehow. I would say worse and better than 48. Like
yeah, he's stagnant, but in like a fluctuating
I think he
way.
would get more jury votes this season than he did 48. I mean,
Yeah,
it's hard to do less than one, but like still.
right. And then Emily, B minus. we really got like so much from Devon's bouncing back, but nothing from Emily. She's just kind of there. She wasn't
She
even
went from being
targeted.
Christian's sidekick to Devon's sidekick.
I think she was the only person whose name was never said this episode because she's just there. And then Jonathan,
She's just there.
C plus, B, C minus, like somewhere in there. He really, I still think he's like doing okay, but I don't like him, and I think he fucked up this episode, and he's finally like he's not getting his way anymore.
I don't think a winner would have this episode. Like, I know probably next episode he'll have his, like, I gotta bounce back like everyone does after they've been blindsided, but I just don't see the vision of him winning. I know a lot of people are just like, I'm scared he's gonna win. I don't see him winning. He could make Final 3 very well.
He did already have like 2 or 3 bounce backs though, with like Charlie, Colby, Coach. Like, is he gonna have a 4th?
How many bounce backs are you gonna need? Like,
I think you might just like sometimes a when you throw a tennis ball, it bounces,
and then slowly it doesn't bounce anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of the episode. For the to close out, I want to see your tweet of the week.
Okay, I think I sent it to you. I'm gonna go with the one with the picture on it.
All right, this is a classic. Read it out for the class.
All right. The comfort. Everyone gets their letters from home. The chaos. She shows up, and it's a picture of the Ika Wong, the baddest bitch in this house.
We need Ika on every show that exists.
I know we just had her back for Amazing Race Canada, and she made a deep run.
Mm-hmm.
But Traders Canada, Survivor, Big Brother, when it comes back, like everything, we need Ika Wong on everything. Like, absolutely. Her little YouTube channel is not enough content. Like, I need Ika, and I need an Ika IV in me right now.
Exactly. So that's it for this episode. Any final thoughts?
I'm really looking forward to this last month of Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
In our side of the border, Survivor Quebec, I'm a little displeased with it. My fave just went home. In a twist. Genevieve? No. Oh. I don't think there's a Genevieve this season. The one season without a Genevieve. There is one on the Traders
season.
Quebec.
Yeah, it was Traders. Okay,
that was last season. Last season a Genevieve won, but this season of Traders, Genevieve is the last trader standing. They already got 2 traders out.
Icon. We need her to win.
By the 3rd round table, and she had to do a, what's it called, ultimatum. So
Genevieve's
there is a Genevieve at one point in the reality TV continuum doing well, and that's all I need. But no, my fave on Survivor Quebec went home because of a Redemption Island kind of thing. So yeah, it's so sad, very sad.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
But it's a good season overall.
That's good to hear. Everyone should watch if they know French or have subtitles.
Get on your Duolingo.
Exactly. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week for the penultimate episode.
Anti-penultimate. I learned this from the Moranian review.
Anti-penultimate episode. Okay.
Anti-penultimate episode called Everyone Will Be Shooketh.
I'm shooketh.
I'm already shooketh, and nothing has happened.
Bye.
Bye.